Welcome to Lesson 3.3 of the Grant Architect course. In this lesson, we begin exploring the data hierarchy, starting with national-level data sources. The data hierarchy is a framework for building compelling needs statements by layering evidence from national to local levels. National data establishes that a problem is significant, widespread, and worthy of attention. It provides context and benchmarks against which local conditions can be compared. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to access and use data from major federal sources, including the CDC, Census Bureau, and Bureau of Labor Statistics. You will learn how to frame problems using national statistics effectively and how national data sets up the more powerful local data that follows. Note that federal data sets are updated on varying schedules, so always use the most current data available for your proposals. The data hierarchy is a framework for organizing evidence in your needs statements. It follows a deliberate pattern from broad to specific. Level 1 uses national data to establish that the problem is significant and worthy of attention. National statistics demonstrate that this is not a minor or isolated issue, but rather a challenge affecting millions of Americans. This level provides context and benchmarks. Level 2 uses state data to provide regional comparison. State-level statistics show how your region compares to national averages and may reveal state-specific factors affecting the problem. Level 3 uses local data to demonstrate immediate relevance to your service area. This is where you prove that the problem exists in the specific community where you propose to intervene. The pattern funnels from broad context to local specificity. You establish that a problem matters nationally, show how it manifests in your state, then prove it affects the community you serve. This structure builds a compelling case while demonstrating thorough research. You might wonder why we start with national data when local impact is ultimately what matters. There are strategic reasons for this approach. National data establishes significance by showing that the problem affects millions of Americans, not just your community. This signals to funders that addressing this issue is important and worthy of investment. A problem affecting 30 million Americans commands attention. National data provides benchmarks against which local conditions can be compared. If the national diabetes rate is 10% and your community's rate is 16%, that comparison is powerful. Without the national benchmark, your local number lacks context. National framing builds credibility by demonstrating awareness of the broader landscape. It shows you understand where your community fits within larger patterns and trends. Proposals that jump immediately to local data without context appear narrowly focused. Funder expectations play a role as well. Experienced reviewers expect need statements to follow the national to local pattern. Meeting this expectation signals professionalism and familiarity with grant writing conventions. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is the primary source for national health data. Their data portal at data.cdc.gov provides access to hundreds of data sets, while cdc.gov or NCHS houses the National Center for Health Statistics. Key databases include the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System, known as BRFSS, which surveys health behaviors and risk factors. The National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NHANES, combines interviews with physical examinations. The National Vital Statistics System provides birth and death data. CDC Wonder allows detailed mortality queries. Coverage spans health behaviors such as smoking, physical activity, and nutrition, disease prevalence for conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and mental health disorders, mortality statistics including leading causes of death, and risk factors such as obesity rates and lack of insurance. Most CDC data is freely available to the public. Some detailed datasets require registration or data use agreements, but the vast majority of what you need for grant proposals is openly accessible through user-friendly query tools. The U.S. Census Bureau is the primary source for demographic and socioeconomic data. The main portal at data.census.gov provides access to their major products with additional resources at census.gov. Key products include the American Community Survey, or ACS, which provides detailed annual estimates on demographics, education, income, housing, and more. The decennial census conducted every 10 years provides the complete population count and basic characteristics. The economic census surveys businesses and economic activity. Coverage includes demographic characteristics such as age, race, ethnicity, and household composition, income and poverty statistics, educational attainment, housing characteristics including ownership, costs and conditions, and employment status and workforce participation. The American Community Survey is released annually, making it particularly valuable for current data. The ACS uses sampling, so small area estimates have larger margins of error. The decennial census provides exact counts but quickly becomes dated. For most grant writing purposes, ACS data strikes the right balance between currency and geographic detail. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is the primary source for employment and workforce data. Their website at bls.gov provides access to extensive labor market information. Key products include the current employment statistics and local area unemployment statistics, which track job numbers and unemployment rates. The Consumer Price Index measures inflation and cost of living. The Occupational Employment and Wage Statistics, or OEWs, provides detailed wage data by occupation. Coverage spans unemployment rates and trends, employment by industry and occupation, wage and salary data, job growth projections, and workforce participation rates. Geographic detail varies by product. Some data is available at national level only, while other datasets provide state-level or metropolitan area statistics. Local area unemployment statistics reach down to county level for basic unemployment rates. BLS data is essential for workforce development proposals, economic development projects, and any program addressing employment barriers. Even programs not directly focused on employment often benefit from BLS data on wages, poverty-level employment, and economic conditions. Beyond the three major sources, numerous federal agencies provide specialized data relevant to grant proposals. For education data, the National Center for Education Statistics at nces.ed.gov provides school-level data, graduation rates, assessment scores, and higher education statistics. The Common Core of Data and IPEDS are particularly useful databases. For housing data, HUD user at huduser.gov provides data on housing costs, homelessness counts, subsidized housing, and housing market conditions. The annual Homeless Assessment Report and Picture of Subsidized Households are key resources. For justice data, the Bureau of Justice Statistics at bjs.ojp.gov provides crime victimization data, incarceration statistics, and law enforcement information. The National Crime Victimization Survey is a primary source. For data on children and families, the Administration for Children and Families provides program data. The Annie E. Casey Foundation's Kids Count offers state-level child well-being indicators, and Child Trends provides research and data on youth development. These specialized sources complement the major sources and may be essential depending on your program focus. Federal data portals can be overwhelming if you dive straight into query tools. A strategic approach makes navigation more manageable. Start simple by using pre-built reports and fact sheets before attempting custom queries. The CDC publishes numerous fact sheets with key statistics already compiled. The Census Bureau offers quick facts for easy demographic snapshots. BLS publishes regular news releases with current statistics. These pre-built resources often provide exactly what you need. Graduate to query tools when pre-built resources do not provide the specific data you need. Most portals offer query interfaces where you can select variables, geographies, and time periods. These tools have learning curves but enable precise data extraction. Read methodology documentation to understand what data actually represents. Sample sizes, definitions, and collection methods affect interpretation. A statistic might look perfect for your needs until you realize the underlying definition does not match your program. Most agencies provide tutorials, user guides, and help documentation. Invest time in learning portal navigation before deadline pressure hits. Familiarity with data sources is a skill that pays dividends across many proposals. With vast amounts of data available, selecting the right statistics requires judgment. Relevance means choosing data that directly relates to your program focus. If you are addressing childhood obesity, cite obesity rates, not general health statistics. If you are addressing workforce skills gaps, cite specific occupational data, not just unemployment rates. Match your data to your intervention. Currency requires using the most recent data available. Federal datasets have varying release schedules, and some lag significantly. Always verify you are using the latest release. Outdated data undermines credibility, though sometimes you must acknowledge that recent data is unavailable for specific measures. Credibility comes from preferring authoritative primary sources over secondary compilations. Cite the CDC directly rather than a website that cites the CDC. Go to original sources when possible. This ensures accuracy and demonstrates thorough research. Clarity means selecting statistics that are easy to understand and communicate. A simple, clear statistic often has more impact than a complex one. 1 in 5 children live in poverty is more powerful than 20.1% of persons under 18 years of age have family incomes below the federal poverty threshold. How you present national data matters as much as what data you choose. Lead with impact by starting with your most striking statistic. An alarming or surprising number captures attention. Nearly 40 million Americans lack consistent access to adequate food creates more impact than discussing food security statistics abstractly. Provide context by explaining what numbers mean in human terms. Statistics alone can feel abstract. Translate percentages into people affected. If 12% of a population experiences a condition, state that this represents X million Americans facing daily challenges. Show trends when data supports doing so. A problem that is worsening demands more urgent attention than a stable one. Childhood obesity rates have increased by 30% over the past decade, signals an escalating crisis requiring intervention. If problems are improving, acknowledge this while explaining why intervention remains necessary. Set up comparison by positioning national data to contrast with local conditions. Nationally, the unemployment rate is 4% is a setup for, in our service area, unemployment reaches 11%. The national statistic creates the benchmark that makes your local data compelling. Several common pitfalls undermine effective use of national data. Data dumps overwhelm readers with too many statistics. Some grant writers believe more data equals more credibility. The opposite is true. Reviewers lose focus when bombarded with numbers. Select a few powerful statistics rather than citing everything you found. Outdated data damages credibility when current data exists. Always verify you are using the latest release. If your statistics are 3 or 4 years old, reviewers will notice and question your thoroughness. Sometimes older data is all that exists for specific measures. In those cases, acknowledge the date and explain the limitation. Misinterpretation occurs when you misunderstand what statistics actually measure. Definitions matter. Unemployment rate measures only those actively seeking work, not everyone without a job. Poverty threshold differs from living wage. Read methodology notes to understand exactly what statistics represent. Cherry picking involves selecting only data that supports your case while ignoring contradictory evidence. Reviewers may be experts who know what you have omitted. Acknowledge complexity when it exists. Your credibility depends on honest presentation, even when some data is inconvenient. Proper citation of data sources demonstrates professionalism and enables verification. Include the agency name to identify the source clearly. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is more credible than according to recent data. Readers should know exactly where information originates. Specify the dataset name or survey when applicable. BRFSS, American Community Survey, or Current Employment Statistics tells knowledgeable readers exactly what you are citing and how reliable it is. Indicate the data year, not just the publication year. CDC data published in 2024 might reflect 2022 survey results. Specify the actual data year so readers understand currency. Many federal datasets have 2-year lags between collection and publication. Provide enough detail for verification. Reviewers should be able to find your statistic if they want to verify it. A general reference to census data is inadequate. American Community Survey 2022 5-year estimates. Table S1701 is verifiable. Citation styles vary by funder. Some require formal academic citations. Others accept simpler references. Follow no-fo specifications when provided and default to clarity and completeness when not specified. Efficient grant writers build reference libraries of data sources they use repeatedly, bookmark key sources by creating organized browser bookmarks for frequently accessed data portals and specific pages. When deadline pressure hits, you should be able to find essential data quickly rather than searching from scratch each time. Save key statistics in a maintained file of commonly used data points. If you frequently cite childhood poverty rates or diabetes prevalence, keep a document with current statistics, sources, and citation details. Update this file when new data releases. Track update schedules so you know when new data becomes available. Major data products follow regular release calendars. The American Community Survey releases annually in September. BLS employment data releases monthly. Knowing these schedules helps you time proposals to use the freshest data. Build deep expertise in data sources relevant to your field. If you work in health, become expert in CDC sources. If you work in education, master NCES databases. This expertise accelerates your work and improves the quality of your data use over time. Here is a practical exercise to apply what you have learned. Step 1. Identify 2 federal data sources most relevant to your organization's work. If you address health issues, these might be CDC and Census. If you address employment, these might be BLS and Census. If you address education, these might be NCEs and Census. Step 2. Navigate to each source and locate their pre-built reports, fact sheets, or quick statistics features. Find where they make data easily accessible without requiring complex queries. Bookmark these locations for future reference. Step 3. Find 3 national statistics relevant to a problem your organization addresses. Use the pre-built resources you located. Select statistics that are current from authoritative sources and directly relevant to your program focus. Step 4. Practice writing 1 paragraph using national data effectively. Lead with your most striking statistic, provide context in human terms, and set up a comparison to local conditions. This paragraph should frame the national significance of a problem before drilling down to local impact. Let us summarize the key points from this lesson. The data hierarchy framework structures evidence from national to local levels. National data establishes that a problem is significant, provides benchmarks for comparison, and demonstrates your awareness of the broader context. It sets the stage for the local data that follows. Key sources include the CDC for health data, Census Bureau for demographic and socioeconomic data, and Bureau of Labor Statistics for employment data. Numerous other federal agencies provide specialized data for specific issue areas. Familiarity with these sources is essential for effective grant writing. Effective use of national data means leading with impact, providing human context for statistics, showing trends when applicable, and positioning national data to set up local comparisons. Select relevant current data from credible sources and cite properly. In our next lesson, we will explore the local level of the data hierarchy. You will learn how to find gray literature, local health assessments, and municipal data to prove that national problems affect your specific community. Local data is where your needs statement becomes truly compelling.